There we go. I'd like to welcome everyone today to a very special guest opportunity for each and every one of us. The CEO and founder of the Direct Selling World Alliance is with us today. And I want you to give a big aloha to the one and only Nicki Keohohou. Take it away, my friend. We're thrilled to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be with all of you. And today we're going to talk about how does your business grow? And we're focusing primarily, there's lots of skills that you can develop to grow a big business. And I say that yes, stop growing, you stop going. And we don't want that to happen to you. So continuing education is a big part of this. And if we can all just keep working on learning, because there's always something more to learn. Somebody said to me recently, Nikki, when you come to a convention, you stay the whole time, you take notes, you listen to all the other speakers. Haven't you heard it all? No, there's always something else to learn. So today, my hope is that you get something that maybe you haven't had before, or something that you say, I've heard that. I just didn't put it into practice. Because my goal is it's not just more information.
Nicki, let's have you unmute, Nicki. Nicki,
Uh,
there you go.
I've
Okay.
been talking all this fabulous time and I was muted.
No,
Oh, could you read my lips? I wanted to know.
no, that's okay. We got most of that. So you go right ahead, continue.
Okay. So, the people say to me, Nikki, why do you take notes at conferences? Why do you stay the whole time? Why do you hang out with people? Haven't you learned it all? No, we haven't learned it all. None of us have learned it all. So the idea is that we keep, everybody just do this with me right now. Take your hand up by your mind and just say, I'm going to open my mind. I'm going to open my heart to receive what's meant for me. So you see, when you have an open mind and an open heart, you will receive what you're supposed to receive. When you're filled up to here, there's no room. And when your heart isn't open, you resist. I don't want that for you. So in the time we have together, my hope is that you keep that mind open and that heart open. And at the end, I'm going to ask you, what were your ahas? What did you take away? What are you going to put into practice? Because information doesn't create transformation. Applied information creates transformation in our lives. So the idea is that you apply what you learn. So your business grows when you do. And if you choose to have that open mind and open heart, you can't help but grow. There's nobody that's arrived. I haven't arrived, and I'm probably one of the oldest people here. I know what happens is that if you go through life and you look at what can I learn today? That's a great self-coaching question. What can I learn today? What am I most excited about learning today? It will come to you. And the people that have the closed mind probably aren't here. And it's sad because they can only go so far. You can go this far with what you know. If you want to go this far, you got to know more. There's something else you can learn. So what I'm going to focus on today is one of the many skills that you all can learn. And it's about coaching. And there's a difference in business coaching and life coaching. I'm a certified business coach of the Worldwide Association of Business Coaches. I need to be certified, recertified every year, which means I must have continuing education, read books, listen to audios, all of those things. I've got to submit all of that. And it's because I choose to be certified. Now, I'm going to tell you, coaching is a deregulated industry. So anybody can say they're a coach and they have not had one class. And they may be confused with what coaching is. And you're going to learn that specific today. Now, beyond coaching, there's a lot more things to learn about being a leader, but I'm going to start with this one of what is coaching. And the reason I'm starting here is because I feel that most companies ignore this. Most companies do not know how to teach about coaching. We teach how to sell, we teach you how to recruit, we teach you how to, if you're a party plan person, how to book parties. We teach you a little bit about the industry. We do a lot of telling and teaching. So I'm going to give you an example before I go into this, what is coaching. You've learned how to recruit, how to sponsor people. So you have the mechanics of how to sponsor. Yet over here on the other side of the bridge, you're not sponsoring. So what most people do is they teach you again, here's how to recruit. You still aren't recruiting. Watch me do it. Come see me do it. Still not recruiting. Let me just do a three-way with you. You're going to get this. Let's sit down together. Still not doing it. They don't need more training. I want you to understand this. We train people to death, and they are not doing it, not because they don't know how. Between what they know how to do and what they're not doing is a bridge. And that bridge is coaching. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Under this bridge is where most people fall. There's about 9 reasons that people don't invite people to join them in the business. I'll give you a few. And you also, I'm going to put up my chat box so you can type in this chat box anytime because I'm going to be looking at it. So you can type into that chat box if you want it to go to everyone. The drop down little blue arrow should say everyone. If you want it to go to me personally, just put my name. So here's what's in that gully under the bridge. The reason people don't sponsor other people, and they're all based on fear. Or if you don't like the word fear, say discomfort. So there's a fear around success. I'm afraid to be successful. I was successful before, and then those people went away, and I lost my business or whatever it was. Fear of success, fear of failure. I might not make it. I might not be good at this. I might not be successful. So I live in fear. Fear of I don't know what to do with them once I get them. Oh, yikes. What do I do with you now? Fear of responsibility. And by the way, you can catch all this on the recording. So if you can't grab everything, just get it on the recording, but get what you can now. So fear of responsibility, fear of no, which some people say rejection. By the way, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the situation. It's not right for them now. So don't think it's about you. They're not saying, oh, now I hate you. That's not usually what's happening. So fear of being pushy is a big one, particularly for women. Fear of being pushy. Every one of these things can be coached, and you never have to look back again. It's not just that you think, oh, it's going to go away by itself. Normally, it doesn't go away by itself. So people that have limiting beliefs or other things going on in their life, they live with them their whole life because they didn't have somebody that knew how to support them to move past that. That's why it is important for coaching in your whole life, with your children, your grandchildren, your spouse. You don't have to say, honey, I'm getting ready to coach you. Get ready now. No, we don't want to be doing that. You don't even need to tell them. But you can begin by using some of the skills, like listening is an important skill. At Heart Center Listening, the important skills. So you can start somewhere and don't think you have to do it all. And, before pandemic, I was speaking to about 1 million people a year in different conferences around the world. I spoke all over the world, and I'd work with 1 million people. Out of those 1 million people every year, very rarely I can say I'd never, ever found somebody that got coaching with one time. You're not going to walk out of here and be a coach. You have enough exposure to know what you don't know. That's the first stage of learning. I don't know what I don't know. And that's kind of what's going to happen here today. And you're going to go, yikes. All what I'm going to say is pick one thing and start somewhere. Just do something with it. Okay, so let's talk about what is coaching. It's the bridge to take people from where they are to where they want to be. It's the bridge number one, bridge to take people from where they are to where they choose to be. Not where I think they have potential to be. It's where they choose to be. In 16th century England, this isn't one of the numbers. I want you to know this because you wonder, where did the name coaching come from? In 16th century England, that's how coaching was defined, taking people from where they were to where they wanted to be in a coach. In a coach. Now we have, what do you call it? Uber or something else, or your own vehicle, but it's taking people from where they are to where they want to be. Number one. Number two, it's a discussion about today going forward. It's a discussion about today going forward. So what does that mean? It's not about your past. We don't spend hours and hours and hours digging up what your mother did to you, or what happened in your last company or your last sponsor. It's not about your past. Coaching is about today going forward. Your current situation is to move you forward. that's what I love about coaching. It's fast. If you have a good coach, it's fast to move somebody to the next level. Number 3, coaching is with permission. What is coaching? It's a conversation with permission. And you don't say, honey, you have issues. I need to coach you. That's not what it sounds like. So they're not broken. People are not broken. They're not waiting for us to fix them. Coaching isn't fixing people. They're not broken. Hold people. Put your hands like this, like a little cup in front of you. Hold people as whole and complete. Now, I want you to put right here in your hands the most difficult person in your life. And some of you I know right now want to squish that person. We're not going to squish them. We're holding them as whole and complete. In coaching, people are whole and complete. So that third one was permission. Number 4, coaching is cyclical. It isn't forever and always. Never sign up for a year of coaching with somebody. And I may offend somebody and I apologize, but I'm telling you, you don't know how that's going to go. So a month, 3 months at the most. You don't need to sign up. It's not forever and always. It is cyclical. It's when a need comes up. Now, number 5, I'm going to put some time into it. Coaching is a skill set that is used when people maybe have a limiting belief. These are the reasons why you coach. When there's a limiting belief, somebody sees something differently or it's not working what they're seeing. So a limiting belief. You coach someone when they're goaling for something. They have a big stretch goal. That's a great time to be coached. It's not when they're broken. Coaching, another time to coach is when someone isn't progressing. They're stuck. They're sitting in the same place. They haven't advanced in the company for a while. That's a time that coaching could get those blind spots out of the way and move you forward. It's when you've lost your passion. Coaching is a skill when you've lost your passion. You're not feeling good about what you're doing. And when coaching is when you don't have clarity. You can't see where you're going. You see, without vision, we shall perish. And I don't want anybody on this call to be perishable. So we got to have vision. We've got to be able to see what's next. That's the part of what leading is about, supporting people to go where they want to go. Now, I know some of you have said this to people. You have so much potential. Now, let me tell you something about potential. What that person hears behind those words is, and you're not applying it. Get rid of that phrase. That's a whole different thing. Enlightened vocabulary, I could go on for days. Words have power. They either power or disempower people. People with ADHD hear that their whole life. And just know our profession is a magnet to ADHD people because they can excel here. They don't have to sit in a desk in a cubicle. They will go crazy. They have lots of change. ADHD people love us. Learn how to deal with people. Read about it. Understand. It doesn't mean they aren't smart. And actually, they're very, very, very smart people. So I'm just saying to you, instead of you have so much potential, what do you see the skills that you have that could make you be successful in this business? And if they can't think of anything, how would people that know you describe those skills that you have? And they'll come out with it. So coaching is not the same as training. They're different. And you all probably have been trainers. You've trained people, new people coming into the business, people that are moving up in the company, the leaders, and so on. Now, and if some of you are employers and you have employees, I don't know who all is on here, what company you're with, or you're independent, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you that training is important. Don't throw away training. Training has a whole different skill set. We're asked to train in this business, but we aren't really taught the mechanics of training. And now training virtually is a whole different ball game. I'm just saying. So as a trainer, we provide the answers. We have the answers. And we tell people. As a coach, we help others to find their own answers. And they're really happy with their own answers. They like their answers. They may not like the one that we told them that they should be doing. And they go, oh, okay. And they never do it. And then we're wondering why. We never even gave them a chance to say if they were committed to doing that, anything else. We tell them. As a trainer, we have a teacher-student interaction. I'm the teacher, you're the students. That's what's going on today. But I'm going to tell you something. You are going to hear my voice in your sleep. It will be like a nightmare probably, but it'll come back to you, I promise. And you will hear certain phrases, certain words. I was in Australia before the pandemic happened, and I was doing this class with this mother of twins. And she was so funny. She goes, my little boys, they're 4, really want to meet you. They really want to meet you. I said, oh, I'm happy to meet them. I love children. So they both came in and they're standing kind of at my feet, and I'm talking to a couple people, and they're just looking at me and looking at me and looking at me. And then I said, I'm so happy to meet you. And they go, you're the lady in our car. We hear you every day. I thought that was so funny. So they hear it in the car. You may hear it in your nightmares. I don't know. Anyway, so we have a teacher-student interaction. As a coach, we're partners. As a trainer, the focus is on my agenda. Now, interestingly enough, I had gone to Kathy and said, what do you think that people would go for? Because I wanted to make this your agenda. And a way you can do this at the beginning of every training that you have is, example, tonight we're going to be talking about selling. If you could walk away with exactly what you wanted to know and understand about selling, what would that be? And I let you talk. I write it on the paper. And those are probably everything I was going to do anyway. But I look at that person when I make that point. You just move that agenda to theirs, which means they're buying in. They're not sitting there going, well, here she goes again. You know, they're with you, which is important. So as a coach, the focus is on the team member's agenda. They come to you with the agenda. When you're a true coach, you have a coaching call preparation sheet. The person fills that out. You follow their agenda. So as a trainer, we know the expertise is with me, the trainer. I've studied this for 20 years. When we first started DSWA, the Direct Selling World Alliance 20 years ago, we started teaching about coaching. And newsflash, I was horrible. I have a tinge of a strong personality, just a tinge. And in my old ways, I used to tell people what to do. Here's what you need to do to be successful in this business. Here's your first step. Here's your second step. Here's your third step. Now, why aren't you doing it? You know, what's wrong with you? I wasn't good at that. And I'd been training for years. I'd also been a VP of sales and marketing for a direct selling company. And my CEO thought my job was to tell people what to do, even though you're all independent contractors. Anyway, so I was a little confused. So I studied coaching. I knew we needed to know something different. And I became a student about it. And I've studied for 20 years and I'm still studying. So the expertise is with the trainer. As when you're coaching, the expertise is with the person you're coaching, your team member. They're the expert on your life. I am not the expert on any of your lives, period. Sometimes I wonder if I'm an expert on my own life. But anyway, if we don't make assumptions about people that we know. I know what she's going to say, so we finish her sentence for him. You know who you are. You know that we've done this. Or we want to go like, spit it out. I don't have all day. I just am going to say you're going to see yourself in some of these scenarios. So what coaching is it? Not counseling. Nothing wrong with any of these things. They're all good things. I want you to know counseling is a lot about the past. It is by a professional certified person who's gone through a lot of education, also has a lot of liability insurance because they're telling people, they're putting their opinion out there. Coaching is nothing about my opinion. And that is going to be hard for some people because we know better than they do, we think. So we're going to tell them what we think. So people ask me all the time, well, what do you think, Nikki? You know what I say? It's not really important what I think on this. What's most important is what you think and what you're willing to do. That's way more important than what I think. Because guess what? They'll come to me again. Some of you are the answer queen and you know who you are. I'm the answer king, Larry. I don't know that you really are, but you would get the king's crown. I'm just saying. So coaching is not mentoring, and mentoring is helpful and important for all of us to have good mentors. Those are people that have been there, done that. Those are people that that you look up to and respect and value because they know the way and they show you the way. Everybody can benefit from mentors. I have many in different areas of my life. And it isn't cheerleading. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you think your job is to pump people up and to get them out the door. How do I motivate people? I used to hear that all the time. First of all, I can't motivate a toad, and neither can you. The toad either wants to jump or it doesn't jump. I can't jump toad, jump toad. It's not going to happen. I get my pom poms out. Come on, go toad, go toad. No, he's not going to do it unless he wants to. Cheerleading is temporary. Cheerleading is me spraying sunshine on people to get them excited. And then they go away and they just go, oh, I'm exhausted. So what do? They call you again. You're the one that will end up being exhausted if you're the cheerleader. Everybody get your pom-poms out. Come on. Woo-hoo, get them out. Everybody got my pom. You can do it. Tell me what you say. You rah, rah, rah. You rock. You're amazing. I believe in you. It's not going to make a difference. Throw those pom-poms on the floor and step on them. You know, in high school, college, I was a cheerleader. I thought those people could hear me. When I started dating my husband, and he was a football player in college, he goes, Nick, we really can't hear you. Really? I ruined my voice and you couldn't hear me? This is not good. So we can cheer all we want. It doesn't mean it's going to land anywhere. So I'm going to give you 5 principles to live by. And I want to talk about these principles for a minute. Every great coach lives by these 5 principles. These are principles that I choose to make part of my life. And before I go there, I've got to say, a couple of people said, I am a good cheerleader. All right, so we're going to burn our pom-poms. And I'm going to say something to you. If you want to have an impact on people, learn to coach. It stays with them. It stays with them. You can make a difference in one conversation in a life for a lifetime with somebody. You know, when I first learned to coach, I wasn't so good. So I would ride on Southwest Airlines quite a bit. And my husband would be on the outside and I'd be on the inside. We leave the middle seat open. You all know what happens with that middle seat on Southwest Airlines. Nobody wants to sit there, particularly during pandemic. I didn't do it during pandemic. Anyway, I'd look for the most negative person coming down the aisle, the person that was, you know, like icky. And I'd move my purse and my coat over and I just put my hand like this. Man, they ran for that seat. I couldn't wait. I knew it was going to be a challenge. It was going to be good practice there. So all I did is just say, oh, my name is Nicki. Tell me about you. And they would go on. Now I'm going to give you another news flash. You can't screw a person up in 2.5 hours. I'm just saying, they aren't going to jump. They aren't going to go out the door. You got them for about 2.5 hours on average. And you can ask lots of questions and you can see what lands and what doesn't. But you must live by these 5 principles in order to be effective. Being of service to someone. See, to coaches to serve. To coaches to serve somebody. It means you are there in service of another. It doesn't mean it's because you want to know something about them so you can use it against them. It doesn't mean you're trying to fix them. It means you're really there to serve them, that you are 100% present with that person. And that's why trust comes forth. You know, people say, you know, Nicki, how do you get people to trust you from that stage? I don't have judgment. I don't show judgment. I can't say I don't have judgment. I have probably got judgment, but I don't use judgment against other people. And we show judgment in a lot of different ways, you know. I have a daughter that when her eyebrow shoots up here to her, I can't do it. Can anybody do that? I don't know. But her eyebrow will shoot up to here. Something's going on in that brain right now, I can tell you. And I can't do that with the eyebrow. And besides that, they're a little offside, so I have to push this one up. But the problem is that when you showed, or you're going, no way. You don't even have to say anything. Your body, your voice can show that you have judgment. The other thing about trust is when somebody tells you something and they hear that from somebody else, do you think they're going to really be open with you? No. And when you're a gossip person, I'm gossiping about Sally with Laura. And so what's Laura thinking? The minute I leave, she's going to be talking to Grace about me. Walk away from gossip, folks. It will kill this trust in your organization. No, trust is built over time. Trust is when people know you're really listening to them, that you truly care about them. This isn't a show. This is who you really are. And they want to be around you. You're like a magnet. Have you ever met people, and when they walk into the room, everybody goes, "Oh man, I want to know that person. I want to know them." And then the other people, when they leave the room, people are like, clapping. So whether they're happy to see us or happy to see us go. I don't want to be the one that everybody's happy to see go. So build trust by being present with people, listening to them, not sharing the things that they've said and done. You will never hear me say, "Well, Kathy Weaver told me this." Never. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen because trust is too important to me in my life. And I have a lot of people I trust in my life. But I'm going to go back to trust, though, because I do need to preface this. I used to trust everybody. I thought everybody was good. And I can remember my mother saying to me as a kid, I had an amazing mom and dad, but my mom said, "Nicki, not all people have the right intentions in mind. When you wear your heart on your sleeve, it's going to get knocked off." And that was the only negative thing she ever really said to me. She was right. She was right. You can't trust everybody. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I listen to what they say. Now I do need to tell you this. I have an amazing husband, and he doesn't talk a whole lot. He listens. He's really good at listening. I don't know how he got that little habit. Maybe it was because I'm talking. I don't know, but he's really good when we go out with people and he listens. And I call him a baloney sniffer because when we leave after that meeting, he goes, "Nick, he's full of baloney." He goes, "He was incongruent here, 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 here." He would never say that in front of anybody. He tells me, "Be careful. Be careful. He's going to change the deal." And man, he was right many, many, many times. So I have people that protect me from thinking the whole world is beautiful. There are poops. In case you haven't noticed, there are poops sometimes. By the way, I just didn't notice because you're probably wondering how to spell my name. I'm going to just change this up here by the way, if you don't know how to rename, it's under those 3 little dots that are up at the top, and a little screen comes up and then you type it in. And I know, try saying Keohohou 5 times. It's not an easy deal, I'm just saying. Okay, so trust. Authenticity. Authenticity is a fabulous principle to live by. Being who you are. It's okay to be who you are. It's hard to be other people. It's hard to be, I came from a big family, and all of them but my one sister and I were like genius people. Like they know what year King Tut died and everything. I could care less. He's dead. It didn't matter to me in the rest of my life. But they studied after school for 5 or 6 hours. And I went to my mom one day and I said, "Mom, I'm not like them. I'm not smart like them. I don't know all this data and every year of every war and every president. I'd rather be playing or being in a club or going swimming or being with people. I'd rather do that than sit and study." She goes, "Nicki, what are your gifts?" Great question. She asked a lot of questions. We didn't call it coaching. She didn't know what that was. But she said, "What are your gifts?" And I said, "My gifts are being with people. I can make friends almost anywhere I go. I love people and I like to learn from people." So she said, "With your gifts, make that your work with what you choose to do or be or become." And so my whole life I worked on people skills. Like last year we got accredited at the highest level of emotional intelligence. I'd have emotional intelligence, but I wanted to understand the science behind it and how that all works so I could be of greater service to people. I got certified at the highest level of behavioral intelligence, which is through DISC. So I'm still learning, but I've just made my life to be about people. And so was I ever the smartest cookie? in the class, or, I got okay grades. I got A's, B's, and C's, but it didn't matter to me to have a straight A. And she said, be yourself. You don't need to be your sisters and brothers. Be yourself. Those are your gifts. That's what makes you unique. So authenticity, pretty much what you see is what you get. Sometimes I do say poop, and I apologize for that. By the way, I never say that other word. I had a lady that said at the end of the class, she writes me notes and she said, you really should find a different choice of words. And I walked up to her and I said, I want to understand because words really matter to me. She said, you kept saying shit. Well, I don't use that word. I said, oh, when I was saying shift, you thought I was saying that other word. And she said, yes. I said, so now when I say shift, I'm very clear that there's an F in there. I'm just saying. So being authentic is important. Why I love this lady. She has authentic gray hair. I don't. I'm just telling you that this is not authentic gray, but everything else I'm pretty authentic. Okay. So this next word, folks, I'm just telling you, if all of us, practiced integrity in our world, we'd have more trust. If all of us did the right things when people weren't looking, it would be. I just know once you know me, you'll know pretty much this is how she's going to respond to that situation, because integrity is one of my highest values. And if somebody questioned my integrity, and I had that happen twice in my life, and I mean, it just crushed me because I know how important that is to me. So integrity, if you're always just working to do the right things, no matter what, you're not breaking the rules, you're not cheating, you're not trying to cross recruit somebody, you're not, saying that you did this and you didn't do it. You don't have to remember what you said. You don't have to get caught up in the lies. And that's a scary place to be. I can't do business with people. If somebody lies to me, I lose trust. And if I lose trust, my desire to want to be around them is waned. I mean, I'd give somebody another chance, but man, I'm cautious when that happens. I don't know about you, but integrity is important. And as a coach, it's really important. Respect. And in order to give respect, or to receive respect, you must give respect. Who can guess what the greatest way to show respect of another person is? Type it in the box. You think you know what that is? Uh, Anybody? Listening. Just really being with people without your inner voice coming out. You just listen and be present with people. It's such a gift. So get respect. You listen to understand. So give respect. I'm going to tell you, we have a real challenge right now in Hawaii with the homeless because our tourism dropped. It's back. We're excited about it, but a lot of people ended up homeless. And I noticed, I watched this because I'm walking a lot right now. I had a back injury and I'm working on getting my back back. Anyway, I'm out walking and you see homeless people, not so much in my town, but in the city. And they cross the street and people go on the other side of the street to get away from them, like they're going to attack them. And I look them straight in the eye. I say, good morning. Or I look them straight in the eye and say, I hope you're having a good day. And they always look shocked. You show respect. We don't know the situation of those people. We just had a man in Hawaii that went on television. He said, I'm 37 years old and I've never stolen in my life. And I just stole a bag of rice to feed my family. He hasn't got unemployment in 5 months. Our food banks are out of food. I don't think it was good to steal. I also understand he was doing what he could to take care of his family. So what we as humanity must do is be respectful of others. We don't know the shoes they're walking in. Listen to them, look at them, and take a few minutes just to be kind. We don't give money to homeless people, we give food. We give them a bag of food or we buy them a meal or something like that. We just don't give money because you don't know. Addiction is a tough thing. I am off the subject, but sometimes you don't know me very well, but I'm going to tell you, sometimes I get a little voice that says you're supposed to share this. Somebody in this group needs to hear this message right now. And I don't ignore it. I listen to it. So you may think, man, she is weird. She goes off from this to that. No, it's because I'm supposed to, and I just listen. Okay, so there are 5 skills to build your business. 5 coaching skills, only 5. I'm not asking you to do all 5. What I'm saying is pick one. Pick one today and work on it. Decide what that one thing is that you're going to do and do it. Because guess what? If you don't, what's going to happen is you just had a bunch of information and no transformation. That's not what we want for you. So let's go to skill number 1. Skill number 1 is empowering and powerful questions. So these are questions that you ask others. They're called open-ended questions. So they can't be answered with a yes or a no. Write these words down. I'm going to put them in the box, so make sure you get it. Those questions generally begin with who, what, when, where, and how. Who, what, when, where, how. If your questions begin with who, what, when, where, how, pretty good chance they're going to be open-ended questions. They come from a place of curiosity. This is an interrogation. Your voice has a lot to do with this. So if you say to somebody, well, who have you called? There's judgment in that voice. So who were you able to call this week? You said last week that you were going to call 5 people this week. How did that go? It's different. And when training voice is different than a coaching voice, you're going to hear it all the time we're together. Training voice is me projecting, me telling, me sharing. Coaching voice is me asking and just being with you. I'm looking at MJ right now, and my point is to be with MJ, to be this moment with her, to care enough about her that I want to ask her, what was the best part of your day today? And what are you looking forward to tomorrow would be my second question. How can you make today a beautiful day for you? If you want to answer that, there's a red microphone at the bottom. You can unanswer, but I don't know if you're talking to somebody else. So these questions are critical for you to be with people and to understand them. Seek first to understand, then be understood. I don't need to be understood. I don't need to tell them what to do. You're in charge of your life. Everybody do this with me for a minute. Point to other people up in the gallery, the box there. Just point to somebody and say this with me. I am not responsible for your success. I am not responsible for your success. Now, let's do this. I am responsible for my success. I'm responsible for my success. Here's the thing. We feel all this responsibility for other people. We think we got to tell them what to do, and when they don't do it, part of us goes away with them. You recruit somebody and you say, I lost another person. Here's another news flash. I have lots of news flashes today. This news flash is they're not lost. They're not wandering around in the forest. They chose to walk away. If I did what I'm supposed to do as a leader, to train, to coach, to lead by example, to follow the company's policies and procedures, I did my part. They chose not to work. People say, this doesn't work for me. Well, the question really is did you? But I'm not going to ask it like that, but it's true. They generally don't work. They want you to do it for them. I got, somebody's supposed to hear this too. This is different, but get rid of the word help. I'm here to help you every step of the way, because we attract the helpless. We're like a magnet for the helpless. They want you to do it for them. You're there to support them. That doesn't mean you do it for them. It's different. So those empowering questions that we ask, who, what, when, where, how questions, are important. And that's when you start in level 1 of coaching. We have a coaching school. We teach this at length. You walk out of there, you know what you're doing. But we teach in the beginning just those who, what, when, where, how questions, thousands of them. In the level 2 school, we go into distinction questions, contrast questions. There are other kinds of questions you can ask, but stick right now with who, what, when, where, how, so you stay with open-ended questions without judgment. But notice there was no why. Well, why don't you have any sales? Even if I smile and say it nicely, why don't you have any sales? It has judgment behind it, perceived judgment. So get rid of why. Even of yourself, you ask yourself, why am I not further along? You'll give yourself that answer. What can I do to move up in the company? Will give you a different answer. That whole thing of self-coaching is a powerful thing. We teach that too. Skill number 2 is heart-centered listening. Heart-centered listening is very different than head-centered listening, internal listening. Heart-centered listening means that you know the meaning behind the words. You're listening to those words, yes. You're understanding the meaning behind the words. And if you're someone that is always thinking and you're thinking about that next question you're going to ask, and you're thinking, well, they're not going to buy anything, look at that her shoes have a hole in the bottom, you got judgment going on. When you're in your head, you've got judgment. Get out of your head and into your heart. Everybody do this. Touch your head right here. We're going to move our thoughts from our head to our heart. Now tap your heart slowly. Now, when you're with people, you can't, they think you're strange. So just push your hair back and grab your jacket or your necklace or whatever. Put your hand by your heart for a minute. On the phone, I do this. I close my eyes. It's harder with everybody doing Zoom. You think like you're sleeping. I'm not snoozing. Somebody was doing that yesterday in Congress, I guess. That was kind of interesting. Skill number 3, passionate feedback. Now this is, I don't have time. There's 10 steps to this. I just want you to be aware of it. How many of you are people that sweep things under the carpet? You let it go. It's not that big a thing. It's all right. It's not that bad. She didn't mean to. I know he'll get it right next time. I know you're out there. You have a mountain in your living room. You've swept so much under the carpet, it's like blowing out of proportion. And so then what happens? You blow a gasket and things from a year ago now are like just happened yesterday. Compassionate feedback is the skill of being able to have a conversation with someone about this. And it's with permission. You don't say, can I give you some compassionate feedback? You really need this. No, it's, can I ask you a few questions around something? Or may I share something I noticed in the past week? It's something current. So it's when someone has a blind spot. And so example, someone that comes into the meetings late every week, and you give them the eye and you say to the whole group, everybody, we really want you all to be on time. Now, everybody else is on time except this one woman, but we always say, now we really want everybody to be on time, to be respectful of each other. So next week, I'm looking forward to having everybody be here on time, and they don't come. You've got to have the conversation. It is not a conflict. Those of you that are the steady behavioral style, that are reserved and people-oriented, you think it's going to be a conflict. So you never do this. You better learn how to do this so that you don't harbor things. You look healthy. You're going to have a heart attack. No, I take that back. It's probably not going to happen because you're going to figure this out now. You carry a lot of junk in the trunk. So here's the thing. The person that is the one that does the, that's late to the meetings, Sally, can I have a conversation with you after the meeting today? Or next week? What's better for you? Oh, after the meeting's fine. So she's by herself, not publicly, privately, always. Sally, I've noticed that for the last 6 years now, I've noticed for the last 3 weeks that you've been, coming into the meeting late. And when you come in, you love to say hi to everybody and talk to everybody as you come down the aisle and sit in the front row. Now, I want to ask, what is happening that's causing you to be late? Now, she's going to give you a bunch of excuses. My husband is late. My kids were being brats. Nobody would eat dinner. There was traffic. Okay, so which of those things are in your control? So you go right back to coaching. Right back to coaching. What is your plan for next week to be here on time? Oh, I could get a babysitter for those half hour if my husband's late. Who will you call to make that happen? When will you call to make that happen? How will it feel when you walk into that meeting on time and you get to have time to network? How will that feel to you? So we're going to explore this in coaching. I can tell you, she'll show up on time the next week. That, and then you give an acknowledgement. You know, I see how resourceful you are. You always find a way when you're committed. I really appreciate that about you. I also appreciate how much you care about everybody. It will be nice when you really have the time to communicate with them. They'll be happy to see you. Different conversation then. Would you quit being late? You're just disturbing everybody. Everyone is tired of it. But this is only given from your point of view, not from the whole wide world. Only you. You can't speak for anybody else. That's a powerful, powerful skill. And I promise you, you can learn this. Skill number 4 is agreed action and accountability. People that are D's in behavioral style, that means you're very outgoing and task-oriented. You're cut to the chase, bottom line people. Here's where you want to start. So what are you going to do this week? You don't know the reason they didn't do it last week. So we got to learn to hold back, figure it out, then move to agreed action and accountability. Those steady people, again, and sometimes with the eyes, the influentials, those are the people that are outgoing, people-oriented. We're so busy talking, the time's up, and we never got to agreed action and accountability, but we really had fun. So here's the thing. This is an important skill. Agreed action and accountability is when the person agrees to the action that they're going to take, and they are accountable for themselves. I'm not going to tell them what they're going to do. They're going to say themselves. And if they don't want to say what they're really going to do and what they're committed to doing, by the way, commitment is tied to integrity. Commitment's a powerful word in this. What are you willing to commit to? And all of you steady people that are the reserved ones, you S's, I'm just going to say this to you. You think you're going to have a conflict, so you don't. This whole agreed action, I don't want to be pushy. So you have lots of conversations with no results. And if that's you, this skill is critical for you to give results for that person and for yourself. So they agree to the action they're willing to take and be accountable. And then it's, so what would be your first step? Where would you begin? When will you begin? How will we celebrate that you've accomplished that? You ask the questions to move them forward to what they're willing to do. And sometimes I say, I'm going to call 100 people this week. And you're looking at them going, no way, Jose. You have never called 2. Well, that's unrealistic. So let's try 2. No, don't do that. So when someone says, I'm going to call 100 people this week, how much time do you have to commit to calling those 100 people? Oh, I have 10 minutes on Thursday. So in that 10 minutes, how many quality calls can you make? Oh, I can probably make 2. So what 2 people will you call in that 10 minutes on Thursday? Don't make them wrong and make them feel stupid or bad. They hold their self-esteem. And that's part of what coaching is. It builds self-esteem in people. And my whole life, that's what it's been about. I was a teacher and I wanted to build self-esteem in children. Now I get to build self-esteem in adults who build that in their children and their grandchildren. So it's always been the same thing. Here we are back at the same square. Skill number 4, agreed action and accountability. Skill number 5 is I see you acknowledgement, as in I see who you are being. I see the person that you are. I see the qualities that you're made of. This is the opposite of a compliment. And I know some of you have given compliments. Some of you can't receive them. It's like really hard for you. So your husband says to you, or your wife, I'm going to use this as a wife, as a husband one, because this is for the guys too. The husband says, honey, you look beautiful tonight. And you go, this old rag, I found it on the floor in Ross, underneath the shelf. I had to crawl on my hands and knees and get it. And notice it has a rip under the arm. I only paid $5 for it. It's riding up on my rear. And oh yeah, but thanks. And then you wonder why they stop giving you compliments. Just receive it. Bring it to your heart. All you have to say is thank you. Thank you. That's all. You don't need to make excuses for it. Some people have taught, they think they're supposed to be humble. So that means you don't receive gifts that people give you. Someone that gives you a compliment is giving you a gift that they believe and they choose to. So now's the chance to receive it. And somebody just did this with somebody yesterday, because guess what? When they don't receive it, it's saying, I don't believe you. I don't care what you have to say. I think you're wrong. That's really what you're saying. That's not fair to people. So I see you acknowledgement is beyond a compliment. It's way even more powerful. It is the qualities of a person that you see in them. So somebody maybe is top in sales in your organization this week, instead of saying, oh, yay, you're top in sales, good job. The reason you're top in sales is because the way you care about people. You have a servant's heart, and it shows up in everything you're doing. Very different. I'm going to ask you to type in some words of qualities in people. Type them into the box. As many words as you want to. Just hit one and send, one and send, one and send, so I can read them quickly. So there's a lot beyond good job. You are resourceful. You are creative. You're fun, kind, happy, respectful, loving, intelligent, funny, dedicated, loyal, amazing. Amazing is not quite as explicit as I'd like it to be, because what makes that person amazing and what makes that person awesome? Quality that's inside, that caused that caring. Yeah, we used to say you rock. You rock is kind of a compliment, but it really doesn't say what's there. Friendly says you're there. You have tenacity. We used to say good job a lot. Good job is a something that just kind of happens all the time. Good job on your homework tonight. Just last night, Leia is one of my grandchildren, and she had to know 10 years old, she had to know all 50 states and the capital and the abbreviation for that state. She worked on it all week. And yesterday she got 100%. And I said to her, Leia, congratulations. You were dedicated to learning this. You put in the time and the effort to make that happen. It wasn't an accident. You earned that grade. And of course she puffs right up. Well, thank you, Mimi. So find good in people. You're inviting, you're powerful, you're empowering, you're gracious. So many words that can touch a person's soul. Everybody, inclusive. You can start right now using I see you acknowledgement everywhere you go. You go to the grocery store, instead of saying, you charged me $1 too, and this tag said $1. You can say, I chose this line because you are always friendly. You smile and you make us feel great being in your line. Thank you for being you. They don't know what to do with that. Sometimes they just cry. This is a gift you can give that's free. Give it more often, especially to the people you love. I hate to say this, but sometimes we say, thanks for taking out the garbage. Or good job, you remembered the garbage this week. Versus like my grandson takes out the garbage for my daughter. And every week she has a different I see you acknowledgement. He kind of stands there and waits now, though. He kind of wants to know what it is. You are dependable. I noticed how you carried it down backwards today. You're really creative. She finds ways to let him know she sees him. I see you as I see who you are being. The being is more important than the doing. Because what I want you to understand also is the being part of this you take with you forever. I have good athletes all over the place. My grandson is 6'6", and he weighs about 250. His calves are just like the size of a thigh. And, he could have played, got a full ride scholarship in football. He's a good athlete. His senior year, he destroyed his knee. And then plus, this was last year, no scholarships because of all the things that were happening. And if his identity had been, you are a football player, he would have lost his identity. You are a leader on the field. You do the beyond what anybody expects of you. You're creative, and I watch how you inspire the other people on the sidelines. We found ways to see who he was, because and particularly in that sport, you never know what's going to happen. Can't have their identity tied up with what they do. It's who they are. So I see you acknowledgement. That's one of the skills. You got 5 skills. Pick one. So I want to tell you about a couple, and I'm going to stay on because I'm going to actually coach somebody live that wants to stay. But I want to tell you about some upcoming courses that we have. July 2nd to August the 10th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. This is the level 1 coach school. This is where you start in level 1. Or you can start with the coach approach to sales and service. This one is $349, and you can make 2 payments on that. If you go to this class, you can go to that class later, half price. So it's a really good deal. The coach approach is how to use coaching skills in your sales, how to ask questions. So a brand new person doesn't get bad habits of telling. Because what we do with our product sometimes is give information. Now, let me tell you the features and benefits of this product. You don't even know if they want that product. We got to find out, what do you know about the product? Maybe they know everything about the product. So it really sets people up for success. If you just go to dswa.org/events, there's a list of all kinds of events, including one tonight on generation. And that's a really good on how to work with all the different generations and how to communicate with all the different generations. So at the bottom there, you can become a member of DSWA, dswa.org/membership. You get 1 month free. You can attend our class tonight free if you join today. That's because we do a $29 class every month, but if you're a member, you get to do that free. We have another class that's free to everybody. You'll find that on the events page. I don't know if we posted the May class yet, but it'll be coming up. So somehow you can stay connected. Budget is a challenge for you. Let's get you making more money so budget no longer needs to be your challenge for the rest of your life. So that is something I wanted to share. Then I also wanted to know about your insights. Anybody have an insight, something that you got out of today that you're going to use? Unmute yourself and please share or type into the box.
Awesome. And Nicki, we'd love to thank you for, oh my gosh, there are so many nuggets. And I really do have writer's cramp because I have been taking notes for all of this. You can see the notes right here. But we really want to thank everyone for joining us. Don't leave yet, because I have put each of your names on our magic wheel, and Nicki has offered to do a coaching session. So you could be that lucky winner. So if you have insights you wanted to share, some of the ones that I actually wrote down, that the bridge is coaching. And that was a big piece for me. Coaching is a bridge to get people from where they are to where they want to be. And I will never again, ever again, look at a middle seat on an airplane the same way. So
it's
so much. I'm thrilled for everyone who attended. And if you do have questions, be sure and type it in the chat, or just let us know if you unmute.
Here, this is a nice comment too while people are getting ready. I chose to attend this presentation because I feel Kathy is a very good judge of character and wants to be of support to you. Thanks for the invite. So glad that you made it.
Thank you.
And I love the remembering of identify with who people are versus what they are. Oh, beautiful. The ICU acknowledgement. Who they're being. That's what's important. Any other insights from anybody? Unmute yourself, please.
Hey, it's Michelle Cruz here, and I just absolutely thank you, Nicki, for taking the time to be with us today. I am very intrigued. I wrote like 3 pages of notes, and I didn't know the difference really, I guess, between, I never thought about it, between coaching and training. And you just really helped me today with that, and I appreciate that. And Kathy, thank you so much for arranging all this and getting us all together. And I have to go. I have a 2 o'clock, but I love you guys. Thank you.
Oh, so glad you were here with us today, Michelle. Anyone else have an insight that you wanted to share?
So I really liked it, Nicki, when you talked about having a discussion with a team member, and it's about today going forward, because there are so many times when they'll bring up the past. Well, I used to do this, or I didn't do this, or I never did this, or this is why I don't like doing this type of thing or something. And I thought that was really revealing that, talk to them about today going forward. So I think that's really going to help me.
Now that is good. Now I can tell you that sometimes there was a by the way, the person, Dr. Rochelle, that
Yes.
asked what were the 5 coaching skills or whatever,
Yes.
those you're going to get the recording. The recording will be available to you, I think, if you registered, so you'll be able to
Yes.
get that. So, Mary, when you say that, the only time you go to the past is if they have a belief from the past that's holding them back, and to say, so where did that belief come from? Where did that belief come from? When they say, I'm not good at this, I don't know what I'm doing, where did that belief come from? And it could be from their father when they were a kid that said to them something like, you're never going to amount to something. Who knows where it came from, but we've got to get that belief shift to a new empowering belief. And that's what's important. MJ, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yes, I did. I have a counseling degree, so anytime I'm training somebody, it's like I'm being their counselor. This helps me to be able to transition from the counselor to the coach, because
Yes.
it ends up that way. Like I'm the mother, but I'm not. It's just that
No.
I had those coaching skills forever, or the counseling skills.
Yes, it'll be a big difference. And you can take these coaching skills, you'd be a great one to go through the certification, because you can take those coaching skills into your counseling and it will be way faster for people. That's the thing that it's very quick, and the better you get, the faster it is. So that, friends, we worked with lots of counselors and therapists too, because they want a more expedient way to get wherever they're going. So anybody else use the word support versus help? Thank you for that. That was Sue. Anybody else have one?
Oh, I just want to say, Kathy, again, like everybody, thank you so much for the invite. And Nicki, thank you for the affirmations that you gave today. As I was writing, I was checking like, okay, that's something in my toolbox. That's something in my toolbox. So thank you again, just for me, the affirmation that I am coaching on the right path. So I appreciate that.
That's
beautiful.
Thank you.
Good for you. Anyone else have a comment or a thought? Okay, if you missed the upcoming courses, here they are. So I want to take a minute and see if there's somebody that has something that you personally would want to be coached on. And it could be something maybe you have a limiting belief about, or something maybe you've been stuck, or something that is challenging you, or you're goaling for something, or you just don't know how to deal with something. Be the person that serves everybody on this call and offer to be coached around that. Doesn't hurt, I promise. It's free for you right now.
I was going to say, don't be shy. Would you like to draw by doing the wheel, Nicki? Would that be a good way to do it?
We can do it like that. Go ahead and do it then, and we'll see.
We have the rock stars that are still on here, so I think that's going to be terrific. If you would unshare your screen for 1 second, I can share mine.
Yes, I'm going to go off of this.
All right, girls, get ready, because we are super duper excited to have Nicki with us. And
oh, I love that. I want to tell me where you get this tool, Wheel of Names. Will you send me that in an email, Kathy?
Girl, absolutely. And I wanted to put in the middle. All right, Miss Fabulous Sue, did you want to share something with amazing Nicki?
Well, that's pretty cool. I like that too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy, for inviting me. And Nicki, you are amazing. I've already signed up on the website.
Good for you.
Oh, good. You are a speedy weedy.
I had a career for 20 years in higher education, and I also have a counseling master's degree. So this really hit me, and it was something that I needed to be reconnected to. I love the empowering questions, and I've known those for my whole life, but failed to ask them when I'm meeting with clients. So I think my biggest, I don't know, it's almost a fear, and I've never had this fear before, is like rejection, not being able to close that sale on the phone or whatever, particularly during the pandemic when you weren't able to go out, because I'm one of those people that likes to meet people.
Yes.
And so that's been hard for me to do that on the phone. I think that's Something that you could maybe advise me on. How's that?
Okay, so first of all, coaching is not giving advice.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to give
I
any.
caught
I'm,
myself saying that. Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. So I want to just go back for a second because you mentioned education. We have Coach Excellence School for educators for that very reason.
Mhm.
Educators are taught to teach and
Yeah.
tell, and provide information, not necessarily taught how to draw that out of the children and empower those kids to think on their own. Because we have kids in the past that have graduated from school who have been spoon fed and they could do the work. They didn't know how to apply that in their life. So we have some of the largest school districts in the world that are using our information right now that we're training. And we're doing it all virtually through Zoom. So it doesn't even have to be in person. So what I heard you say was that there was a concern about picking up the phone or Zoom, and you use the word closing the sale. I'm going to give you everybody a couple of thoughts first. And I didn't say this. In coaching, you don't own the outcome. You don't own the outcome at all. You have nothing to do with that outcome. And I know some of you are thinking, how can I let go of the outcome when my income is affected? You know, when you let go of the outcome, your income moves up. It goes up because you are accepting of others and their situations and where they are. So it's not owning the outcome. The other thing I'm going to say about closing the sale, so this is training. And by the way, when you just train, average retention and application is 22%. 22%. And that's if you had all 9 elements of being a good trainer. When you combine coaching with training, average retention application is 88%. Significantly different. You will be a much better trainer. And you didn't know it was happening today, but there was a lot of coaching going on while training was going on. It was intermingled. I bet you I asked you at least 100 questions during that time, you know. So anyway, we want people to retain, so we want to do that combination. So when we let go of the outcome, what will happen, Sue, when you let go of the outcome that you have to close this deal? How will you show up? If you could please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think that would take the pressure off, and I would probably be a better listener and want to know how to be supportive, more supportive.
And so if you go into that conversation with not knowing what's going to happen, what would be a good thing that could come out of it other than they become a customer or they become part of your team? What would be a good thing that could come out of it?
Well, I think that I could continue a conversation with them, maybe another call, or help them in another way. Maybe they don't buy an ad from me, but maybe I help them in another way, invite them to a networking meeting or do something that could help their business other than that.
So being a friend, there's lots and lots of things that can happen. It's not one road to get this is results. Some people I met 10 years ago. Kathy, how long has it been since we've met each other? About 6, 7 years or more?
Yeah, we met in 2011.
2011, 10 years. And we just brought this back together.
Yeah.
When you care about people and you are of service to people, it shows up. May not be today, may not be tomorrow. So when you let go of the outcome going into that conversation, you know, it's like, it's easier. It's much easier. And the other piece that I want to say about that, even like with this call today, I told you about classes we're offering. Maybe nobody does anything. I did good work for you today. I opened your eyes to something new. I'm happy about that. So I have an intention in everything that I'm doing. My intention is to be of service to people. Whatever that looks like and however it ends up, that's my intention, is to be of service to mankind and to be of support. And so my intention always comes around. Whether somebody buys something or not, I don't know. And I maybe got them to at least appreciate what direct selling is about. That's a good thing. So what will it look like for you differently, Or how would, there's a better question. Just ask one question at a time. And by the way, if you ask a question, the person said, could you ask that again? Don't. It was confusing the first time. It'll be confusing the second time. So think about it and reframe it and ask it differently. So what will it look like for you from today going forward when you let go of the outcome in these conversations? What will that look like, Sue?
Oh, you're asking me. I thought you were talking to the whole group. I think it'd be a more real conversation, actually.
A little more natural for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think people will receive this conversation?
Oh, I think they'll think, oh, she's trying to sell me something, but instead of having the car dealer salesperson come in, they'll think, oh, maybe she's an okay person. Maybe she's trying to help. I don't know.
Most times that's the case. See, if you come in, and that's one of the first things I do on any conversation, because I'm on the phone almost all day. If you don't have a headset, get yourself a headset, or you'll have this deep voice like I have from cheerleading and not using a headset. When you call down for a wake-up call in the morning, they go, yes, sir, I got you down. You know you got troubles with your voice. So anyway, so get yourself a headset, get on that phone all day and ask, I'm curious about you. Tell me a little bit more about you. Or, how can I support you in what your vision is? Or, what are you up to these days? How did you come through the pandemic? Anything that is about them. Ever take out a pretend flashlight and put it in your hand? And I'm going to ask you to shine the light on everybody else on the screen. Shine the light on everybody else. Now I want you to envision yourself going into the bathroom with the lights off and your flashlight is right here. Look into the mirror. It's frightening. We don't need to shine the light on ourselves. We shine the light on them. And if it's about them, see, people say to me all the time, Nicki, why don't you teach about overcoming objections? Because what I say is don't create them. You will not create objections with questions because people don't object to their own answers. When you make statements, you create objections. It's a simple thing. Yet we keep telling them, like, we're the #1 blah, blah, blah company in the world. We've sold more of this than anybody in all the whole state of Washington. Whatever. We give them all these facts. They can, I don't think so. I think so and so. They'll debate you. What makes you want to create a debate? I don't want to debate. I want to build a relationship. That's what this business is about, building relationships. So stay with it. So Sue, when will you begin to make this shift from owning the outcome and trying to close the sale to being with people and letting it evolve?
Tomorrow morning.
Wow, that's a fresh new start, isn't it? What do you think will happen when you start asking questions versus making statements?
I think they'll be more interested in me and how I can help them.
You got it. Because
support them.
You got it. You've got it, Sue. Here's the thing. When we are interested in others, they find us interesting. So as we go forward, being interested in other people, they want to know about you too. They want to know what you're about. So and the old school way of selling the deal, we would sell and tell, sell and tell, sell and tell. We'd try to get somebody to do something. People, especially millennials and youngers, they don't want it.
No.
They don't want it. And that's why, like tonight in this generational class that I'm doing, and again, you get to go, somebody already registered, so you get to go free because you're a member. If you don't know how to get that invitation because it's kind of late, you could write to membership@dswa.org, membership@dswa.org, and she'll get back to you. Am I being interesting or interested? Oh, that's good, Grace. I love your thoughts there. Am I being interesting or interested? Just meet people through being interested in them. It's beautiful how you make an impression on people that way. And it's so much easier. I don't want to be trying to get people to do something that they don't want to do. It's
Yeah.
the same in what's happening now with recruiting. Sue, how has this belief that you have, are you, do you do any recruiting in your business?
No,
Engaging people?
it's just me.
Just you?
Mhm.
Okay, so, but I'm going to say it to the other folks. If you're trying to recruit people, the old way was to convince them. Today it is to engage them.
Mhm.
You engage the sale, you engage the purpose. Sue, that sales and service, coach approach to sales and service would be amazing for you.
Okay.
It would be a wonderful class for you to be involved in because it's engaging the sale and it's using the art of asking questions versus telling. Very different approach. And then you develop that in every area of your life. Hmm. So, Sue, is there anything else I can do to support you?
Thank you. That was amazing. I appreciate your candor and your insight into that. I thank you.
Mm, mm. So, well, I know this about you in just a couple minutes. You care very much about people. You truly are interested in people. Somewhere along the line, someone may have said to you, you got to close the sale. I say we must open the invitation.
Yeah.
Open the invitation to see how we can work together. And it may be that you're referring them to your hairdresser. I don't know. But how can we work together? And that's invitation. People willingly walk through the door, convincing they're drug through the door and they run out the other door. Don't want that anymore. Well, anybody else have something that you want to share, ask, or that I can do to support you?
Nicki, I did want to share, I've gotten several text messages since some of the people had to leave. Many responses were, oh my gosh, when do we get her back again? And the other thing,
Oh, that's so.
oh my gosh, and they were sorry that they had to leave, but obviously HNP and several groups. And by the way, ladies who are on the call with us now, Nicki and Edwin Adebury have been friends for over 30 years. And Edwin is our Chief Happiness Officer for Happy Neighborhood Project. And Nicki is very modest, of course, but with her network of friends all over the world, she actually was the #1 referral leader for Happy Neighborhood Project this week for all of Hawaii. So do consider connecting with this rock star. Not only is she amazing founder, CEO of Direct Selling World Alliance, but she is also a networker times a million and she knows the whole planet. So do connect with Nicki. Thank you again for being here, Nicki. Does anyone else have one more parting shot? I don't want to keep Nicki forever, but this has been phenomenal and we are just blessed beyond measure to have you with us.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you for your patience and your time and for being dedicated for your business, for the people that you work with. You all are students. I always know who the real, true, hardcore students are. And here you are right here at the end because the school's not out for us. We're learning and growing as we go. So thanks, everyone. Have a blessed day. And I look forward to seeing you again someday. And if anybody wants to host an event, if you have a team and you want to host an event, you just, Kathy can tell you how to get a hold of me or go through Facebook or something. And because I really love to connect with people through this because I make a difference in a short period of time. And then I get to know those that want to go further, better over an extended period of time, which is a good thing.
What is your event time for tonight, Nicki?
If you go to that page, let me write it in here. You'll see it on there. Generation.
If you'd like, you can put it.
Or go to this page /events,
Okay.
and that'll show it generation. I think my time it's 1, so Eastern time would be 7. I believe that's what it is. But you can find it right there. If you can't make it, if you're a member, it's free, and you'll get the recording also. So just sign up for a month.
Honestly,
Pardon?
I joined DSWA, and ladies, when you find out that the cost to be a member of this organization is a big fat $89 a year, and you get the recordings and the opportunities to be with this lady all the time, and there's even an app. Are you kidding me? There's no way in the world we can't be part of this organization and not only support Nicki, hello, but definitely get this training and coaching. on all of these videos. So again, the recording for tonight is free for members, and it is so incredible, even if you can't make it at the time it's happening.
I want to add one other thing with that. You know, you may know somebody that needs insurance. We have group insurance that we have sourced out for the last 2.5 years. And we have a person that you can write to and just set up an appointment. And I've taught them how to sell this. They don't sell it. They do an interview with you to find out what you need so you don't get overinsured. My son was spending way too much money on his insurance. And when they talked to him, it cut it almost in half. And it's better program for what he needs. He's not a sick kid. He needs, like, he jumps off cliffs, you know, he surfs, he needs accident, big stuff. That's all he needs. He doesn't go to the doctor unless he's like going to be in a cast or something. Anyway, so I know that that's a good program for everybody. And I feel really honored that we were able to do that. And every week you get an Aloha Friday video that will come to you through the app when you're a member, and I'm excited about that too. So let me know if there's something I can do for you or your teams, and looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Kathy, for your dedication. It was beautiful that you did this.
Unmute everybody and give Nicki one gigantic aloha from the Midwest United States. Unmute.
Aloha.
Aloha.
And mahalo. That means
Aloha.
Hello to you
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you so much. This was amazing. Woo!
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yes, thanks, Kathy.
Thanks,
See
Kathy.